David Susie?
I do not think that's fair. I think he's coming from a different place. I understand what he's saying, but those are not truths. Those are assumptions and presumptions about what he's trying to accomplish. I've met the man. I've talked to the man. I know what he's up to, and I know what he's trying to do. Is he more interested in profit? Possibly. Who knows? But he is on the outs, and he's done a lot to move that company forward to the right direction. Although the fact that he didn't know if anybody that's been intimidating the employees has been fired or not, that really rings with me. That is something that's unacceptable.
Well, just to clarify, David, he said, I know it has happened. So he admits that he knows it's happened. What he was unable to do is tell us how many, in the same way as he was unable. I mean, he hadn't seen the material that Boeing's counsel had sent the committee, which he then had to admit was gibberish and rubbish.
Yeah, it's just admitting the fact that he doesn't have the insight to know what's happening on the floor. And he's very good at taking this message across his management team and everybody else that it is there. But nonetheless, it's still, and if you look at that vision statement for Boeing, it still does not say safety in it. It talks about quality and leadership and how they're going to lead this and lead that. And that's all, upper level management talk. It doesn't get down to where the person turning the bolts understands it. When I turn this bolt, that's what makes that airplane safe. They have to have a direct line of sight to safety, and I don't believe they do.
He's on his way out, but the other dirty little secret that really everyone in the industry knows is that the aviation industry needs Boeing. You can't just go down to a single manufacturer, which was Airbus, particularly at the narrower end body. You can't just have 320s. You need 737s as a competitive edge as well. Can he turn it round, or do they just bumble along?
Well, and there's much more at risk even than just manufacturing commercial airplanes. If they're convicted of fraud, if that company is marked with fraud, they won't even be able to provide any kind of defense materials to the U.S. government as well. So we're talking a shutdown of Boeing at a much grander scale than just commercial. If this goes towards the fraud, if they're prosecuted for fraud and they did not live up to their deferred prosecution agreement, which was that this would all be fixed by now, and they haven't done that. So they're at risk at much higher level than this, Richard. And I don't think I'm answering your question there, but it's a bigger picture than just can we commercially create aircraft anymore.
Right, I think you did, because what you emphasized is the significance of, in a sense, of Boeing's survival. A new team will come in. They're looking for the new CEO. We have a new president at Boeing. They've got the problem. Look, David, it's almost exasperating, isn't it? Because, how do you beat up somebody who's beating themselves? And that's what Calhoun did today. He did a really good job of beating himself up until he was pushed by Hawley when he sort of says, I'm proud of what we're doing, but why should we believe them that they will turn this round?
Yeah, he's setting himself up to be the fall guy. And that's a smart move for Boeing, honestly. I think it's a sacrificial lamb. He's setting himself up to say, this is all my fault. And what we can't forget about it, we talked about this the other day, is sure, Boeing comes up with a safety plan. What's the FAA doing right now? This is like a bait and switch. Everybody's talking about Boeing. Where's the FAA in all this? Where's their safety plan?
Well, the FAA administrator did admit, didn't he, in his testimony a couple of weeks ago, that they had been, I don't say asleep at the switch, although that's probably a good phrase.
Yeah, it is. It really is. I think that's where it's at.
David,
it has to be changed at that level.
Good to see you in Colorado. I'm grateful to you, sir. Thank you. Question